Hey fam, so this is actually just a really chill, fun video that I felt like doing because I'm a little sick right now. Well, a little is an understatement, but I just got in some new tarot decks and oracle decks, and so I wanted to share them because I was excited. So I wanted to do a little oracle deck haul or tarot deck haul. And I apologize about my nails. They looked cute a couple days ago, but the stickers have all kind of chipped off and stuff. But yeah, so the first one I got is this Witch's Kitchen Oracle Cards deck. And I actually have another deck by the same company / authors, or whatever you want to call it. And I really like it. This one, the Witch's Wisdom Oracle cards. So this one I already had. These cards are really good quality. I opened them this morning because they came in this morning. They are kind of like crunchy on the outside, or not crunchy, but they have this like texture of all the cards being stuck together, and there's like a sharp edge, which I think that's going to go away in time because I think that's how these cards were at first. I love these cards. So I'm hoping that I will love these cards just as much. And whenever I get a new tarot deck or oracle deck, I love to just go through each individual card and show it appreciation to really connect with the cards. As silly as that sounds, it really helps me connect with the cards and just tune into them and stuff like that and build a relationship with them so that when I use them later, I get really clear messages. So this one has a lot of good cards in it, and I love the vivid colors. Plus, it has a kitty in the background, so that's automatic points from me. And it looks like a little possum as well, or a rat. And a bat. Oh my god, there's a bat, guys. I didn't realize that. But anyways, I needed a herbal deck because I had gotten one before. It was these cards. But for some reason, I just didn't connect as well to these ones. And I've seen these, like Shanetta Divine Tarot, she uses these cards. I've seen her use these cards, and I've been really wanting these cards for a long time, like a couple years. So I'm happy I finally got them. And I tried buying these a few months ago, but I just didn't for some reason connect as much with these cards. Hopefully I still get more use out of these ones. I can't remember the name of them. And just because I don't connect with them doesn't mean they're bad cards or something. It just means that I don't know. Everybody's an individual, you know what I'm saying? So everybody likes different things. But yeah, oh my goodness. So I love the cauldron on the back with little what is the name of the star? Oh my gosh, I can't remember. Oh, Mandrake. This always reminds me of Harry Potter. This gives me such Harry Potter vibes. But anyways, so these are these cards. I love these cards so far. They're so good. And I was shuffling today, and I got garlic earlier. Hemp expansion. Yeah, I love how these cards shuffle and everything. They're so nice. And now on to the big boy, the mega deck, the Buffy the Vampire Slayer Tarot deck. I saw this last night and I immediately had to get this for the next reading. But I didn't realize how mega this mega deck was because, in advertisements they always over-exaggerate, but this is definitely a mega deck. Look how humongous these cards are, y'all. I feel like a doll holding these. Like I'm a small doll that just is holding a bunch of adult cards or something. Not even a child, because these are so big. They make me feel smaller than child. They make me feel like a doll holding them. And I put them up to my face and it's as big as my face, which is awesome. So I didn't realize how humongous these cards were. And I'm gonna have to figure out a way to shuffle them. I've kind of figured out one already. But I mainly, okay, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, I mainly wanted to do this video to geek out over these freaking cards because I grew up with Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Pentagram, is that what these are called? Pentagrams? But I grew up with Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and she in the entire show is my childhood, and I just love them so much, like all the characters, the plot, and everything. This is a cute little stand, so whenever you pick a card, you can just, oh look at that, Queen of Pentacles. You can just stand it up on a little stand, which is adorable. So yeah, I was going through these cards earlier and I was like, oh my god, I need to share this with the viewers of my channel, with my fam, with the OG crowd, because this is just so awesome. I just couldn't contain myself. And there's so much, like, whoever made these cards, who is it? It's written by Casey Gilly and illustrated by Carl James Mountford. They put a lot of love into these cards because let me tell you, there are so many nuanced references to the entire series in these cards. I'm just nerding out right now. Like, you guys have no idea. This is just so awesome. And I wanted to go through the cards with you because they're just so cool. I love them so much. Oh my god. Okay, so first of all, too bad I shuffled them earlier because now they're all out of order and I'm gonna have to like mismatch show you. Hopefully I can, actually give me a second. I'm gonna oh, actually this is perfect. This is what I wanted to show you. Okay, so first of all of the illustrations in these cards are peak references to the series. So this guy was a principal. He was the last principal of the Sunnydale High School in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It was whenever Buffy was older and she went back to the school as a school counselor. Well, long story short, Spike, which is one of the main characters, is a vampire, and he used to kill vampire slayers as like a hobby. And this was, his mother was a vampire slayer. Her name was Nikki, and Spike ended up killing her. I think it was like the 60s or 70s. And he found out, and he ended up making this entire room that had crosses all over the walls from the ceiling to the floor to bring Spike in there and to like kill him. And so anyways, I just think it is so freaking cool that they're the King and Queen of Pentacles. It's so cute because here he is as the King of Pentacles and then his mom is the Queen of Pentacles. So that's awesome. And we have like so many other references in here too. Let's see. Okay, first of all, I think it's hilarious that they put Xander as the Fool. That's amazing to me because he was always the goofy one of the group. This card, oh my god. Okay, I wanted to talk about this card. So this is the Wheel of Fortune, but this lady, I can't remember what her name is, but she is the OG first ever Slayer in history. And it is so fucking cool that they put her as the Wheel of Fortune because, you know, the Wheel of Fortune is basically like cycles. What goes around comes around, you know. It's ever changing. It talks about life changing and there being cycles in life of good and bad, fortune and unfortunate, and you know that everything is shifting continuously. And so I think it's so cool that it goes all the way back to the beginning, like the beginning of the cycle. And she is the one that everyone that descended her had the blood of a slayer and the potential to be a slayer. So I think that's so freaking awesome that they put her as the Wheel of Fortune card. Oh my god. Okay, so I love the references to Willow in all of these. Let me find... This is really cool depiction, the Hanged Man. I really love that they put Spiked as the Hanged Man because you can see through his growth and his character arc and development throughout the entire series. At the beginning, he was just, you know, a bloodthirsty demon. And then over time, he ended up shifting perspectives because of his obsession and love for Buffy. So it's really cool that they have him as the Hanged Man because the Hanged Man represents changing your perspective, getting a different viewpoint, which is why the person like hangs upside down, is to try to change their perspective. So that's so cool that they put Spike as the Hanged Man. And then the Three of Chalices, of course, is Buffy, Willow, and Xander, which is so cute because, you know, they're the three main characters of the entire series. But let me find Willow. And this one is so perfect. Giles as the Hierophant. The Hierophant talks about knowledge and wisdom and like studies. And so it's perfect that Giles is the Hierophant in here. Yes, okay. So here's another one of Willow. All right. I want to really show you guys all of the cards of Willow. So this is a reference to whenever Buffy moved away. Well, she ran away because her mother found out she was a slayer. And she worked as a waitress in a couple towns over or something like that. And she used her middle name, which is Anne. So her full name is Buffy Ann Summers. I think it's wild. They pull out so many deep references to this because whenever... I guess the reason why I love this so much is because a lot of fan art, or not even fan art, I would say, but a lot of marketing things from big companies trying to make money off of a famous TV series or something, they always go for like very shallow level references. They don't really get into the nitty-gritty because they don't feel that they have to, because they're like, oh, just because Buffy's name is slapped onto this notebook, everybody's gonna buy it. So they don't really try very hard, but you can tell the love and passion that went into this tarot deck because of all the niche references that they make. I mean, they reference, like, this is from like during the time, I can't remember which season it was, but this is like where he was, I think, a doctor, and he had basically a goddess that took over his body, that they were one body, but they would switch between him and her. And whenever the switch would happen, everybody would forget. So it's cool that they have the Two of Scythes because it's like a choice. He was either one way or another, and there was no both at the same time. It was one or the other. So that's really symbolic. I love how they not only reference all of the individual episodes and characters and everything like that, but also they really get behind the symbolism, and it's just amazing. It's amazing to me. Oh my god, I love this one. So this is the Six of Chalices, and it is so hilarious. This is a reference to the episode where all the adults in Sunnydale eat chocolate that I think Ethan Rayne made, which Ethan Rayne was Giles's young adult acquaintance slash friend that turned to enemies. But Ethan Rayne made this chocolate that anybody who eats it turns to being like very immature versions of themselves, basically back into a teenager. And Joyce, who is Buffy Summers' mom, and Giles, who's her watcher, end up eating the chocolate. And they go back to their versions of being a teenager, and they end up liking each other and hanging out the whole time and temporarily going on a date, basically, and just getting up to no good, being unruly teenagers, and it's just hilarious. And then also, it's amazing to see how all the teenagers end up having to take care of the adults because the adults are acting like teenagers. But I just love that they made this reference of Giles and Joyce together on this card. Hilarious. Okay, oh my god, I remember this freaking thing. I just can't remember this episode. She has the little umbrella with like the bedazzled lights and stuff like that on it, and it's so cute. I remember when I saw this episode, even though I can't remember what episode it is and what it's about, I wanted a miniature umbrella like that. This is Oz. It's perfect that they gave him the hermit card because he's very to himself, very introverted, you know, keeps to himself. Oh my gosh, okay, yes. Okay, here we go. So these are all the like cards, the major cards of Willow that I wanted to show you. So I love this because it's all the stages that Willow went through. There's like a regular card of Willow in here somewhere of her just, you know, being herself. I can't find it right now, but these were the major ones I wanted to show you anyways. So this is a reference to whenever Cordelia made a wish that Buffy never existed. It ended up turning Sunnydale into an alternate reality where all the vampires took over Sunnydale, and Willow was a vampire, and this was her as a badass vampire. Dude, the actress Allison Hannigan is so freaking talented. The fact that she can go from cute little innocent Willow to badass vampire Willow is so amazing. And also, her outfit was on point. It was so freaking sexy and just, oh my god, I'm fangirling right now. But this was her as a vampire, so I thought it was so cool that they did that. So this one is the Devil card, which I think is perfect that they made Dark Willow as the devil, because the Devil card is all about temptation and giving into temptation. It's not like, I mean, the devil is literally Satan, but Satan represents temptation, giving into your darker side, giving into things that are bad for you, things like that. And so I think it is beautiful how they use Dark Willow for this card, because this is all about addiction. She became addicted to magic, addicted to black magic, and it ended up making her evil temporarily. And so it's perfect that they used her for this card, because that character arc represented her giving into her temptations and her dark side. So I think that's so cool. And this card is just so beautiful. So Willow started out as straight, and then she ended up becoming lesbian, or maybe she's bisexual, I'm not sure. But either way, she is LGBTQ, which is really cool to see her transformation over time throughout the series. I love that Tara and Willow are the lovers card here. I think that's so beautiful, because they could have used any other couple from the series, but they used them. And I think that's because their love was truly pure, and they were so loyal to each other, and they were so right for each other. And unfortunately, like in the series, Tara ends up dying, not of natural causes, but you know, they were both witches. They both complemented each other very nicely. And the fact of finding love in another person, whether they're male or female or whatever gender or non-gender that they are, just being lucky enough to find love in another person and compatibility and support and all that stuff is really awesome. So I think this card is so beautiful, because it just shows us that love can come from anywhere, really. And it takes all forms and shapes. So I think that's so cool that they used their couple for this card. And then this is the other card that I wanted to talk about. So this is the 10 of Chalices, or in other words, the 10 of Cups. And this is also Willow. This was her purest form. So this was when she worked with light magic. At the end of the series, Willow has to do this ritual magic over this scythe because as of right now, there was only one Slayer in all the generations as the chosen one. But there are multiple girls throughout the world that are the potential chosen ones that could be called when the other Slayer dies. So she did a spell unlocking that part of it to where nobody has to die, and every single chosen girl out there that had the potential of being a Slayer, that has the blood of the first Slayer running through their veins, will now be a Slayer themselves. And so that means they'll have the strength and the stamina and everything that comes with being a Slayer, because this breaks the bind of there only being able to be one at a time and makes it to where everybody who is a potential Slayer becomes a Slayer, which they needed that to defeat the Hellmouth. But during this spell, they use light magic, and she becomes a white witch, which is so fucking cool because she goes from being this to being this, like total transformation, using her powers for good instead of evil. And I just love that. I think it's so beautiful, and I think it's so beautiful how they put it on the 10 of Cups, because the 10 of Cups is a beautiful card in and of itself. So I love how they recognized that Willow went through such a character arc and transformation throughout this entire series, and they kind of followed her journey through these tarot cards, and they used a lot of good symbolism and recognition in these tarot cards. And that was really what inspired me to share this with you guys, was when I saw all of these like amazing tarot cards and just how beautifully they depict the series and the character growth. It's just so beautiful. Also, this is so heartbreaking. They captured this moment, the 10 of Swords, whenever Buffy had to kill Angel. Oh my god. I am almost in that part of the series. I'm gonna cry. Oh my god. Okay, so this is Dawn, which is Buffy's little sister. She doesn't come in until a few seasons later. I think it's hilarious that they gave the chariot as Cordelia. Okay, yes, this is what I wanted to show you. The Tower card. Oh my god, this really just took my breath away when I saw this card, because Dawn is the key to opening and closing a portal. And so these monks made her into a human of flesh and blood from Buffy, so made her her sister, so that the Slayer could protect the key, which is Dawn. And so basically there was a portal that opened up. The only way to close it was by closing it with the key. So what ends up happening is Buffy figures out that since Dawn shares Buffy's blood, Buffy is also the key. So she sacrifices herself instead of Dawn and saves everybody. More portals with more sacrifices and people, I know. But I think it's so cool that they used this as the Tower card. I mean, who would have thought to do that? Like, use this. I mean, it is a giant tower, but I never thought of it as like using it for the Tower card. So I think that's so cool and such like an awesome reference. This is Anya. She is Xander's girlfriend later on, but also like she's honestly hilarious because she used to be human. And then what ended up happening was this guy offered her a deal. Because whenever Anya was human 1,000 years ago, she married a guy, and this was like the olden times where the wives were like only supposed to cook, clean, and have babies basically. And her husband was like a piece of trash. I think he cheated on her or something happened, but she was a scorned woman basically. And she was so pissed off that she made a wish and her husband ended up dying or something. And then they offered her a job to become one of the wish demons So these demons offer wishes to scorned women or scorned men to get revenge on their lovers, basically, who wronged them. And this is like the head honcho boss dude. So he offered her the chance to become a wish demon, and she ended up becoming one. So she was a demon for like 1,000 years, and then she ends up being reprimanded, and her powers are taken away temporarily, basically, by him, because she ended up doing something wrong or not making the wishes as harmful or something like that. I don't know. She broke some kind of demon code. And so he took away her powers temporarily to where she had to live as a human again. And I think it's so funny how, like, she just basically forgot how to be a human. She forgot how humans interact and, like, normal human things to do. And so to see her interacting with people and becoming, you know, one of the main characters in Buffy in the crew is just great. It's hilarious. Oh, this is Kendra. So she is the second Slayer that we see. Buffy died temporarily because she drowned, and then they revived her. Her boyfriend Angel and then Xander revived her, but in the split second that she died, Kendra was called. This is Jenny, which is Giles's girlfriend, and also she's a teacher at the school, but she's also a gypsy that is from the line of gypsies that Angel, he killed one of their tribes people way back in the day, and her ancestors cursed him to have a soul. So it was her family is the reason why he had a soul, and he was a good vampire who is supposed to suffer eternally. So Jenny ends up like basically moving where Angel is to ensure that he's still suffering and he still has his soul. This is the little orb that they can do magic with to restore his soul. And on one of these discs, she put the spell to restore his soul. And at one point, Angel loses his soul and he ends up killing her so that she can't restore his soul back. Oh my gosh, this is one of my favorite episodes. So this is a demon that makes everybody sing and dance. And it's so funny because during the whole episode, it's basically a musical. Everybody's singing and dancing, and he thinks that Dawn, Buffy's little sister, called on him because she stole the necklace, because for a while she was into shoplifting and stuff because she was rebelling as a teenager or whatever. So he thinks that it was Dawn that called on him, but really it was Xander. And really it was Xander because Xander was like, I thought it would be fun to watch everybody sing and dance. And at the end he was like, this demon was like, whoever called on me is my bride and is gonna go down to hell with me. And so he found out it was Xander. He's like, okay, actually on second thought, I'm just gonna let this all go. It was just great. I loved it. I loved that episode. And this, I love how they made this scene as the sun. So this was one of the last things I wanted to geek out about. Well, first of all, I mean, maybe not. No, I'm kidding. This will be like the last thing. Okay, sorry. Oh yeah, they made Tara the High Priestess. I love that. And Willow as the Magician. This was the other Willow card that I was trying to find and couldn't find earlier. Oh my god! Okay, so this episode is from the episode Hush. And these guys actually gave me nightmares. There's very few episodes in Buffy that I watched growing up that gave me nightmares. This was one of them. The other one was the flesh-eating monster, and then the dream killer. That was a reference to like Freddy Krueger or whatever. But with this one, they steal all the voices of everybody in the town to where nobody can talk. And then they go and harvest, I think it's hearts from different people for their whatever they're trying to do. Yeah, they harvest hearts from people. So I think it's funny that this is the death card. because that's perfect, because they were scary as hell. And then in an interview with the cast of Buffy, Michelle Gellar was like, I kind of felt bad for these guys because on lunch breaks, nobody would eat lunch with them because they were so scary looking. So I just thought that was funny to mention. So I love that this card is the sun, because Spike is an interesting character. He really like transforms over time. He started out a few hundred years ago as a hopeless romantic who was in love with this girl, and he wrote poetry that I guess was really bad. It wasn't that bad listening to it, especially for that time, but people would make fun of him. And he ended up getting turned into a vampire. And whenever he becomes a vampire, he ends up bossing up and becoming like a really badass vampire, becoming William the Bloody, which is like a ruthless vampire, almost as bad as Angel, but not quite. Anywho, later in the series, like at the end, at this point, Spike also has a soul. That's a whole nother thing. He sought out a way as a vampire to get a soul because he thought that if he had a soul, Buffy would love him, which is so sad. Honestly, it is so sad. And I hate how like Buffy treated Spike throughout the series, especially later on whenever he's trying to be a good person. Anyways, that's a whole nother thing. So the Sun card, during the last few episodes of season 7, in order to destroy the Hellmouth, they needed to use this amulet, and Spike wore the amulet, but little did they know that whenever Spike put on the amulet, he actually was going to die, and the amulet would shine throughout the entire Hellmouth and destroy the Hellmouth, but with it, Spike also sacrificed himself. It's through his demise he saved everybody. So I just find it so beautiful that the sun is the amulet, you know what I mean, on this card, and that, you know, it depicts like Spike sacrificing himself. I love this series so much. It has brought me so much comfort over the years, and I'm watching it right now as I'm sick, which is another reason why when I saw these cards, I was like, oh, I need to have them, because I've been on a Buffy kick. I'm still on season 2 right now, because I just started a couple days ago, and in between passing out and being awake, I watch what I can. Also, isn't this so beautiful, this guidebook? Look at how beautiful this is. Usually it's just in black and white, but they actually printed it in color and made it purple. Is absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, I don't know how I'm going to use these cards. I think I got a side shuffle kind of, like just letting them fall. Oh my god, I just realized I've been blabbing on about Buffy the Vampire Slayer for literally an hour. Jeezle. And then I think I'm gonna go like this when I shuffle. And just shuffle until I feel. And then I'll do this. I think that's how I'm gonna end up using these cards. And then I'll probably just use one as the main vibe of whatever situation it is. Big mamma jamma energy. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I should get off here because this video is extremely long. It was supposed to be like 20 minutes of me fangirling, and it turned out to be an hour. Hopefully I can edit it down to like 30 minutes. But yeah, I am going to be releasing a actual real reading. Don't worry, it's not talking in this voice. Within the next week of me releasing this video, I'm actually releasing a reading, and it's gonna be really good, so stay tuned, and I can't wait to see you guys next time in a real reading video. All right, love you, fam.